welcome everybody to the Magic Beans podcast. We are back again for episode number 178. I'm your host tonight, and my name is Shorty, and I have two beans on the line with me in the form of Chewy. How's it going, mate?
Good, mate. I feel like we've got the band back together. It feels like it's been a little while since it's been the three of us, so...
Yeah, it has been quite a while. It was, good to have everyone back here. And, the other person in that band, I guess if we're going with that, is Cracker. How's it going, mate?
Good. Are you sure you've got the episode number right there?
I know that's really difficult for some people to get the episode number right.
Listen,
it's
big numbers.
Definitely some people struggle with that, yeah. I had a good laugh at that when I listened to the last podcast. Hang on a minute, I think that was a previous episode. Anyway, it's all good.
It's because the show notes weren't updated because you and J-Mud didn't use the show notes. You see.
That's right. We used our own special J-Mud's show notes.
Yeah,
it's all J-Mud's fault.
Yep, absolutely.
Banned forever.
No, definitely not. Should definitely have him back on again. He's always
Correct.
A lot of fun. But yes, it is good to be back. I've missed a week, and then you guys were off the week before that, and who knows beyond that? I can't remember what I did yesterday, let alone 4 to 6 weeks ago. So but all of us back again and keen to talk a bit of Magic, and we've got a bit of an exciting time in the world of Magic with a new set about to drop like next week. So going to have a bit of a chat about that tonight. We're going to mostly be talking about Ixalan, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, the set's coming out next week. We've got some preview cards to talk about, some draft archetypes, and a few other bits and pieces. So we will get into that. But before we do, Chewy, do you want to give a shout out to our fine sponsors?
Absolutely. Our fine sponsors of our podcast and our tournament series are Josh and Pat's MTG Bazaar. They are a Facebook auction group with nightly auctions. They have also claim lots and win it now posts. There's heaps of ways to pick up excellently priced Magic cards every single night of the week. Premium auctions on the weekend are really, really shiny as well. And they have a full-time auctioneer, which means that the communication and shipping are second to none. So jump on to jpmtgbazaar.com.au, get bidding, and tell them that the beans sent you.
Very good. All right. So we're going to get into a whingy complaining topic first, I think.
Well, we're Magic players,
what
we do.
Into the fun stuff. Yeah, it's par for the course for being a Magic player. So the title of this thing in our show notes, this segment, is Arena Sucks.
We're going to talk about how the shuffler's rigged and how the matchmaking's broke.
We're going to go deep on it. Yeah. So what are we talking about, Chewy? Why does Arena suddenly suck? And I don't think it's a suddenly thing.
Well, it sucks a little
specifically.
More... Specifically. Yeah. There is a whole bunch of people out there that are having a lot of trouble submitting decks for challenges and actually just getting a direct challenge off the ground. So if you say you want to test out your latest brew and you don't want to jump onto the ladder yet, and you go, "Hey Cracker, I think I've got this brew. Do you want to challenge me so we can do some testing?" Or, I've got this standard tournament that's coming up on the weekend. Let's jam some games against a gauntlet. Let's play some games together. And you jump on and you do a friend challenge, and then Arena just says no. It dies. And people just can't do the friend challenges. And we waited a really long time for that feature to be able to challenge your mates on Arena. And then just for whatever reason, with an update or a server issue or something, the functionality just stopped working. And I know there's people in our leagues that have really felt that and haven't been able to play matches in the allotted time because they just keep experiencing this and super frustrated and shouldn't take that long to sort out really. So, and zero communication from Wizards on it, right? Not even an ETA. So even barely an acknowledgement that it's happening.
Super annoying. It happened to me a bunch, particularly in the last week and a half of the league when I was trying to jam matches, and it was just, you just couldn't do anything, and you sit there for ages, and it was just saying, it either wouldn't let you select a deck, and then you click on the button, and you get the next screen, you're like, yes, finally the challenge goes through, and it just flashes up with the draw. It's like, oh, come on. And it didn't matter what method you used. You couldn't do like a direct friend challenge. You couldn't do, the one where you put in the person's code. I couldn't do like the tournament type, which I tried like 6 different ways. Like I think just about every single way you could of like the format type and the selection type. And you just couldn't get them.
You've just got to have them on a call and like on the count of 3, both hit play and hope you get paired.
You just magically get paired on ladder.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what I need you to do is drop 11 ranks to be bronze 4.
So you got to play Insanity, who's like ranked 38 mythic or something. Yeah.
I mean, I just concede to him anyway. I think it's the same result. Just saves him some time.
Oh, I beat him in the league because he got mana screwed.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
that's the only way you can win.
Yeah. I won one game legitimately, then got trounced, and then he got mana screwed, and I took it. You take those.
Yeah.
So,
but
it's frustrating.
It is extremely frustrating. Like, I mean, the segment topic of Arena sucks. It really is just an ongoing saga with Arena. Like, you look at how much money Wizards as a company makes, how much money Magic makes for them. I couldn't even imagine how much of that is Arena. Like, they'd be making stacks of money off of it. It boggles my mind how much they just continually stuff it up and just don't seem to fix things. Like this bug's been going on for weeks, and because there's no in-game tournament system, any like third-party events that are going on over weekends or whatever, like they're all just running into the same problems, and Wizards just don't seem to really do anything about it. Like you wouldn't think it would be that hard to figure out where the bug is and just push out a quick patch and have it updated. So the other thing that really frustrates you, like I play a lot of Marvel Snap these days, and anytime there's any sort of small issue, it's like, oh, sorry, there was this small issue, and it may not have even affected you. You jump on and it's like, oh, there was this small issue and you couldn't play this card or whatever. Here's free stuff. They just give you free stuff. Mm-hmm. It was the same with almost any other game. Here's free stuff where we're sorry that you may have possibly been slightly inconvenienced by this. Have some free stuff. And you're like, oh, sweet, that's awesome. Arena, it's like, nah.
Not even an acknowledgement that something was... Yeah. I wonder, like, you talked about how much money Arena makes, and we don't know, but it's like some number of millions of dollars every year when you think about Magic making $1 billion a year sort of thing, right? So some multiple millions, tens of millions even, hundreds of millions even come out of Arena. And how much of a percentage of that is in franchise players that are playing in those weekend tournaments through, tournament organizers, and there's, countless small leagues through Discord communities and people like us, content creators and things that run their little events through Arena. What's the percentage of Arena players that play the game that way versus those that just play Historic Brawl or play casual or people that grind the ladder? So how much of an impact on their bottom line are they having potentially if this goes on too long, and do they care? I don't know the answer to that. So
I think it would be a very small percentage
versus like your casual...
versus just the mass of people who are just grinding ladder and jamming games. I think that the league style online tournament series thing is a fraction, like a tiny percentage.
It's like comparing
they don't care.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the answer to your question, do they care, is no.
Yeah.
As shown by listen, you know what you're going to get from this? Arena's going to be like, hey, sorry, there was a problem. We took a rare wild card.
Yeah. I'm in the negatives now. Great. But
you might, if you're lucky, get 1,000 XP, which literally does nothing.
Yeah, it's the most token thing ever. Yeah, absolutely. It's
so poor.
It's 50 gold.
But I wonder, like, it's I don't know. It's a shareholders thing. It's just like, if we have to pay extra devs to do stuff, then that eats into the profits, and versus, paying an extra dev, having a better product and potentially gaining more profits. Like, they've obviously done the back of the envelope equations.
I don't think they have.
And gone, if we, well, I think if they've
they're
gone...
just like, Oliver, please, sir, could I have some more?
Yeah.
More?
Yeah.
They're just like slapping them away.
Yeah.
Get back to work, developers.
Yeah. Do you know, it's actually funny. Like, I often, you know, when we're having these discussions around Arena, draw on my own experience as, you know, someone who manages has significant piece of software. I literally presented to our exec, requesting more resources, more devs, and said that, you know, you expect a Ferrari. You expect the system to run like a Ferrari, but you've only given us a Camry budget. So like they were literally the words that came out of my mouth, and it actually got traction as well. So, you know, maybe the people that are, you know, managing Arena need to, you know, maybe they've done this as a ploy to go, how can we have a bunch of negative press without impacting too many people? We'll just break something deliberately. A ploy to try to get more devs.
Let's not
give them that much credit.
Yeah, correct. Let's not put forth malintent when incompetence is the more likely answer.
Well, honestly, I think
sure.
the devs do a great job. There's just not enough of them, and there's too many things for them to fix. Like, it screams under-resourcing to me.
Yeah. So apart from this being annoying, why do we actually care so much at the moment, Shorty? What has this done
for
to
us, yeah, specifically for the Magic Beans in our community, it does affect our league. So we're currently in stage 2 of our Wilds of Eldraine league, which we should have basically had stage 2 wrapped up by now or within the next few days, and we're only halfway through. We've only managed to get 3 of the 6 rounds done. And we were already working to a super tight schedule to get this league wrapped up, with Ixalan releasing next week, and then the intention of the 2023 Envy being on the 2nd of December. It was already pretty tight. So we've made the call. We've sort of had a bit of a chat about it and looked at dates and things like that. And effectively, we're going to be extending this league. So we've got 1 round being played at the moment. Ixalan will be releasing next week, and so we'll give players sort of a week and a half to play their next round with new cards. There'll be 1 more round after that, final round, 6th round, and then we will cut to top 8. And instead of the Envy being held on December 2nd, we'll now be running the league finals. So I'd already put in my calendar to be streaming on that day. I think you guys have as well. And yeah, we'll be running a league finals, which we haven't done this year, but it'll give us a good bit of practice, get us back in the commentary shape, I guess, to be ready for the Envy, which we will now be on early 2024. So we haven't locked in a date for that, but it just gets too busy. Once we hit December, everyone's got Christmas stuff, family stuff. It's just silly season, and yeah, it's just too hard to find a date and a time that we can do the Envy properly. And yeah, you know, it's a big event that we like to do properly, so give it the time and effort that it needs. We'll be putting that on early in 2024, so possibly late January, maybe early Feb, not sure. We will figure that out and we will let the relevant people know. So yeah, bit annoying. It's messed things up a little bit for us, but to say I'm surprised would be a absolute lie. So
honestly, this is the first major impact we've had from Arena in terms of running any of these kind of events.
Yeah,
like, people have had individual niggly
well.
problems, but like this is the first widespread problem in 4 years of running these things. So, like, credit, it doesn't always suck, I guess, but it just does right now.
Sucks right now, yeah.
It sucks right now, which is annoying because you come to expect that you can just do this thing once it's given to you, and then when it's taken away, it just makes it more annoying than when you didn't have it in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine if you find a fault and it gets fixed within a day or two, but when it's weeks, it's just annoying. So anyway, it is what it is. So let's move on from that and get into some Ixalan stuff. So as I said, we do have Lost Caverns of Ixalan releasing on Arena next Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, Australian time. So it's going to be pretty exciting. This is the first time we're going back to Ixalan. Previously, Ixalan was a very, very underpowered set. There was not a lot going on in there. A couple of good cards that sort of saw regular play in some standard decks, but it was not a high-powered set, and I don't think it sold very well either.
Oh, Colossal Dreadmaw, hello?
Come on.
Iconic.
It's
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So, we're going to have a bit of a look at that. We thought we'd just have a quick run through the draft archetypes. We normally do go through those when a new set's coming out. We're not going to go a full deep dive on the draft meta and archetypes and that sort of stuff, but we will have a look at the colour pairs. And, as we usually do, we have a look at the multicoloured uncommons, as they tend to be the signposts for the different draft archetypes. So, we're going to kick it off with blue-white. Chewy, do you want to take us through what's the uncommon card for this, and then what is that archetype?
Yeah, so Master's Guide Mural is an artifact that costs 3 white blue, and it says when it enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 white and blue golem artifact creature token. So 5 mana 4/4, pretty good. It also has craft with artifact for 4 white blue. So a reminder from the last cast on what that means. It says exile this artifact, exile another artifact you control or an artifact from your graveyard, and then return this card transform. And on the back side, it's got Master's Manufactory, which is an artifact that has tap, create a 4/4 white and blue golem artifact creature token, with the clause activate only if this or another artifact enter the battlefield under your control this turn. So 5 mana 4/4 that you can then pay 7, only as a sorcery, but then it makes lots of 4/4s every time you have an artifact. So it's a artifact synergy archetype for blue and white, and there's a sub theme of a blink thing, like a blink theme with the with blue white as well. So it's Abdulo Ancestral Echo, which is one of the cards I talked about last time we recorded. It has an ability that for 3 mana can blink a creature or artifact. So you can literally just for 3 mana that's your wombo combo, right? 5 mana 4/4 thing, and then for 3 mana you can just keep blinking. So on turn 6, you're going to make a 4/4 every turn, which seems pretty cool. So yeah, artifact synergies in blue and white.
Rules question. So if you've got the Master's Manufactory, so you've crafted it and it's now on the other side and you blink it,
does it come back as the front side?
Front side.
Yeah.
Comes back as the front side, okay.
Yep. So don't do that.
Yep.
That's otherwise you got to pay 7 and then flip it again.
You just don't
blink it and it comes back as you get a 4/4.
Yeah, you just don't craft with artifact and you just continue to blink it and make 4/4s.
Just leave it on the front side.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep, not bad. So blue, white, artifact, crafting, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but artifact synergies, artifact matters.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty
interesting.
Cool. Yep.
Cracker, the next one is up your alley a little bit, the blue-black archetype. What do we got here? How on earth do you say that?
Descend. Oh, mate. It's Ushbenbach.
Uchbenbach. Yep, okay.
Sure. The great mistake, like my pronunciation.
I thought you were saying this is up your alley because you're a mistake. No.
Whoa. It's 3 blue back. We're just going to move right past that for a 6/4. It's a legendary creature, skeleton horror, which is amazing, with vigilance and menace, which is an interesting keyword combo for blue-black, but vigilance is not usually on.
You don't see a lot of that on.
It's more a white-green thing. Anyway, it's got Descend 8, and it's got an activate ability of 4 blue-black, and return the great mistake from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Activate only if there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard and only as a sorcery. Finality counter we talked about last time is just formalizing the when it comes back, you then exile it after it dies again. It doesn't go back to your graveyard.
And Descend, remind me how Descend works again?
So it is to do with the permanent cards in your graveyard.
Not permanent types, but number of permanent cards.
Total number of cards.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So you've got to have 8.
Correct.
Yep.
For this one, it's 8. For others, it'll be Descend 1 or something like that. And that is Descend, and Descended is if a permanent card.
Yes.
Oh, now, so important thing I learned this week, which we should have probably paid more attention to, is that it is a permanent card, not a permanent. It goes to your graveyard.
Oh, so treasures don't count.
Correct. We talked about tokens and things triggering it, but that's not true. It has to be a permanent card, not a permanent, because the token does go to your graveyard, but it's not a card.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not Revolt.
Yeah.
Revolt was when something died.
Yep. Yeah.
There is
good
something
times. It's confusing. Let's just have multiple of the same.
Yeah, run down
Seems
design
different.
spacings. Yeah.
All right.
Talk to us about Simic.
Yep, Simic. So green-blue, we have Nickenzil, current conductor. So green and the blue for 2/3, a merfolk, a scout. Whenever a creature you control explores a land card, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature you control explores a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on this thing. So explore, if you hit a land, you put the land into your hand, don't you? Mm-hmm. So I guess you can stack your triggers so that you draw the land and then this thing puts it onto the battlefield tapped, which is pretty good. And if it's a non-land card, the creature that's exploring gets a +1/+1 counter, and so this thing also gets a +1/+1 counter. So that's pretty good.
That's real good.
And then we've got a Deep Fathom Echo, which is 2 green-blue for 4/4 merfolk spirit. At the beginning of combat on your turn, it explores. Then you may have it become a copy of another creature you control until end of turn, which is interesting.
Okay, a 4-mana 4/4 that can sometimes be a clone.
I'm pretty sure I just want the 4/4 with explore counters on it.
Yeah, probably. The Simic archetype is pretty much what it normally is. Like, it is ramping, but it's based around the explore mechanic. So
using explore to ramp, yeah.
Explore works pretty good. Yeah, you're either drawing extra lands or you're making your creatures bigger. And I guess the Deep Fathom Echo, like if you're ramping and putting out some big creatures, you can make this get.
You can turn him into Colossal Dreadmaw Cracker, but with counters on him.
Oh, except it's not in the set. But yes.
Mr. B.
Is it really? It's not in the set?
Yeah, they printed a strictly better version.
Yeah, they upgraded it, yeah. So is the current conductor just the guy who's currently in the job? Is he, like, conducting dried grapes, or is it actually, like, a water thing here? It's an ambiguous card name.
Is he directing some electrical systems?
Yeah, he might meet some resistance, yeah.
Anyway, what's the next one? Black-green Chewy?
Akawali, which is a fun name to say, the Seething Tower, and actually looks like something lifted straight from The Last of Us. It is a legendary creature fungus. It's 1 black-green for a 3/3 with Descend 4. So as long as there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, this gets +2/+2 and has Trample. So 3 mana 5/5 tramples anyone. But if
Seems good.
Yeah, if it ticks up to 8, so as long as there are 8 permanent cards in your graveyard, it gets an additional +2/+2 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So, it gets big. 3 mana 7/7 tramplers that can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Brings the beat down. It's just a payoff though, right? Like, it doesn't enable itself in any way. It doesn't mill when it comes in or have a sack outlet or anything. So it's just a big beater. But, 3 mana 3/3 is the sort of the floor on this, like the fail case. So that's not too bad at all. Squirming Emergence is the other one that
It's a horrible name.
Squirming Emergence. Yeah. It's
nothing sounds good about that.
Nope. No, and then when you look at the art, it's apt as well. So, yeah, and I think has he got a pirate hat on? He might have a pirate hat.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So this is a sorcery. It's got Fathomless Descent. So return to the battlefield target non-land permanent card in your graveyard with mana less than or equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. So it's a reanimation spell, but it can get anything as long as, it's cheap enough versus the number of cards in your bin. So this can bring back planeswalkers, artifacts, enchantments, lands, all sorts of stuff. So it's a pretty cool card, Cracker. This is what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Seems really cool. I mean, I'm sure Golgari will really struggle to, put cards in its graveyard.
This might make the cut for Muldrotha,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Just perhaps. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. What's the next one? Red-black.
Black-red?
Mm-hmm. It's Zoyawa, the Lava Tongue. It's black-red for a legendary Goblin Warlock, 2/2 with Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended to this turn, each opponent may discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. Zoya Wa, Lava Tongue, deals 3 damage to each opponent who didn't. So it's just a reminder, if a permanent card was put into your graveyard from anywhere, so you can discard it or what have you. Seems pretty strong. The other signpost card they gave is a rare, which I think is kind of dumb. But Molten Collapse seems real good. Destroy target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less, and you can choose both if you've descended. That card will see play in, let me think, Standard, Pioneer, and Modern.
Yes.
This card is very good. Getting to kill 2 things when you sack a fetch land seems pretty great. It's just an aggressive,
It's a great removal spell.
Yeah, it's a fantastic removal spell. But
upgrade to Terminate and Dreadball for sure.
Yeah. The fact that this is a sorcery is obviously worse, but does more. So that makes it.
It pitches to Fury and Grief.
Perfect, because those cards needed the help. I feel like the pitch elementals have really been underplayed in Modern.
I feel like you really scam people if you made a deck with them.
Oh.
What do you guys think of the Punisher effect on Zoya Wa? They either discard, sack a permanent, or get bolted if you've descended.
None of them are good, as in, like, if as the person who has to make that choice.
Yeah.
And being 3 things is...
This is really good in Limited. Really, this will end games in Limited. Like, this is your reach. So it might get in for an attack or 2. So in Limited, this could easily do 5 to 8 damage for 2 mana. So pretty good Limited card.
It doesn't trigger every turn. Like, it's only...
You've got to be able to descend yourself.
Yeah, but, you're playing red-black, you're going to find ways to, sack creatures or, make suicide-y attacks and trade things off. Yeah, exactly. So, and it might not be every turn, but if this sticks around, it's a bit of a lightning rod, honestly. Like, you got to kill this thing, but if you don't, this is good for 5 to 8 damage, I reckon. So, I'd be happy to play this. I might even put it in my Grenzo Commander deck, just because it's Goblin Density in colours and it's a bit fun. I don't know. I'll probably put Molten Collapse in. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. Next one is Red Green, which is all about them dinosaurs. So we've got, goodness me, who came up with all these names? It's Quinth, firstborn of Gishath. Red Green for a 2/3 dinosaur with haste. Seems pretty good. When this enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. When you do, target dinosaur you control deals damage to another target creature equal to its power. So 2 mana, 2/3 haste. Yep, seems good in a dinosaur red-green beatdown aggressive deck. And if you're playing it late game, it's target dinosaur you control deals damage to another target creature. So if you've got no other dinosaurs, you can just have this thing punch something for 2, which is good. But if you've got some bigger dudes sitting around, you can take out whatever you want. So kind of built-in removal on this little dude, which is quite nice. The other card we've got here is Palani's Hatcher, 3 red-green for a 5/3 dinosaur. Other dinosaurs you control have haste. Heck yes. Gotta love that.
Mm-hmm.
When it enters the battlefield, create 2 0/1 green dinosaur egg creature tokens that would also have haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 1 or more eggs, sacrifice an egg, then create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token. So you play that in your pre-combat main phase. You make 2 0/1 eggs. You go to combat and you sack one of those eggs to turn it into a 3/3 that gets haste from this thing.
Yep. And then again next turn.
So the next turn, no,
because you only
have 1
eggs. So you need a way to proliferate your eggs.
Oh no, it's if you control 1 or more eggs.
Yeah.
Sacrifice an egg. Yeah, so you do it. So you're making a 3/3. So this is a 5 mana that makes 5 mana 3 5/3. Yeah, that gives. Well, it's more than that because you get 2 3/3s out of it.
Well, 8/6 on the turn you play it, and then you make a 3/3 the following turn. Yeah.
Wowzers, that's quite good. So there's a whole bunch of dinosaurs in red and green. It looks like they've kind of pushed that archetype a bit in this set. So if you like to bash people's faces, then red green's where you want to be. So I think that'll be an archetype I would be certainly keen to give a run. Chewy, next one is green-white.
Yeah, Quetzil Malamet Exemplar. So I'm just doing all the 3-mana 3/3s tonight. So 1 green-white for a 3/3 legendary creature, Cat Warrior. All the Cat Commander deck players rejoice. And it has your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. Ooh. That is a very, very powerful effect. And
Not
also,
so much in limited.
No, well, it stops them like blowing you out with combat tricks and things. But yeah, less important in limited. But instants are still important. It also has whenever one or more creatures you control. Whenever one or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So if you've got any sort of pump effects, explore, lords, anthems, anything like that, so this seems pretty good against control. So if someone wants to bring counterspells to the table in standard or something, but yeah, I think for limited, that second paragraph is much more important. So if you've got a way to explore or pump your creatures in any way, this is going to turn itself into there was a Simic Elf a little while ago. It's whenever a creature you control dealt damage, you draw a card. So it's kind of a fixed version of that thing. So yeah, that card's pretty good. And the other card they got here is Kellen Daring Traveller. So it's a legendary creature, human fairy scout. So human fairy. It's a interesting mix. Let's
not think about that too much.
No, it's so it's got an adventure. So Journey On is a sorcery, and it says create X map tokens, where X is 1 plus a number of opponents who control an artifact. So creates at least one map for 1 green.
There's going to be a lot of artifacts kicking around with treasures and maps and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And on Kellen themselves, it has whenever Kellen Daring Traveller attacks, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card with mana value 3 or less, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you may put it into your graveyard. So a 2-mana 2/3 that you can make a map token on turn 1 with a green, and then drop your Planescracker because you love them, and then play a 2/3, and then you're fixing your draws or drawing cards every time they attack, which is pretty gas. So I like this.
It is. It's a rare as well, though. So it's not like you're going to see it a lot in limited.
No,
I'm sorry, I was laughing at your first card because you're like the second paragraph. I'm like,
that's just how Magic cards work.
There's a second paragraph and an uncommon now.
Yeah. The paragraph says draw a card, and it's green and white cracker. Does that sway you? Does that move the needle at all?
The card seems really strong. Yeah.
Very diplomatic answer. Yep.
The map tokens are 1 tap sack explore.
Correct.
A creature explores.
Target creature you control explores.
You can sort of set this up for your turn 3.
Yes.
You've got a map. You can explore, like you can sack a map, explore, go, oh, yep, I've got a creature on top. I'll leave that on top. I get the +1/+1 counter. And then I attack, and then I put that creature in my hand. That's a thing you can do, I guess.
Yeah, you could just manipulate the top of your library, which is obviously really powerful. Yeah. I like it.
All right. Next one, Cracker. We got black-white.
We sure do. So this is Bartolome del Presidio. This is also known as Bart the President. He's a legendary vampire knight. He's a 2/1. And says, sacrifice another creature or artifacts. Put a +1/+1 counter on Bart the President.
Oh, boy.
Free sack outlets have never gone badly for people before. There's nothing to say
They never
here,
enable combos. No, never.
Have you heard of Carrion Feeder? That didn't even let you sack artifacts.
Do you remember when, like, Nantuko Husk was but all you were doing was just, like, attacking for lethal, not, like, doing some insane combo with, scrying and draining your opponent infinitely?
Yeah. No, I love it. You've basically just mixed ATOG and Carrion Feeder in this card.
Yeah, wow.
Except it costs less. And then the other one we've got here is Amalia, Benavides Aguri, I think. It's also black-white for a 2/2 vampire scout with ward, pay 3 life. Whenever you gain life, Amalia explores, then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20.
So cool. So cool.
Definitely going to do that in limited.
100%. Just need to explore all of your deck. All of your deck. Yeah, I mean, it's also a rare. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a janky commander combo. That's what that is. And obviously it's if we read the storyline, she probably does a thing. And also the art is pretty cool on Amalia, right?
It is.
But yeah.
I misread it initially and was about to go and get my wife.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah, does she have a reflection when she looks in the mirror?
Yeah, she does. I've also seen her destroy all other creatures.
I like it. Looks like
I've never listened to a single episode of this podcast, so I'm very safe.
Yeah, exactly. Lannery Storm's back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is it? We have Captain Storm, Cosmium Raider. What is Cosmium? No idea. It is blue and a red for 2/2 legendary human pirate. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target pirate you control. So it doesn't have to be this pirate; it can be another pirate. I believe Is It colours is all about treasures and equipment. I did notice when I was sort of scrolling through Scryfall, looking at cards to talk about tonight, there's a lot of equipment in red. I don't think any of it looks any good, but there's a lot floating around. So, you definitely want to be playing a whole bunch of those and putting counters all over your pirates. We've also got the Belligerent, which I'm assuming is Captain Lannery's ship. This is a vehicle. It's 2 blue-red for a 5/5 with crew 3, which Captain Storm cannot crew on their own.
But it can after you play
you put a counter
your
on it.
boat, and then it's an artifact.
You play your boat,
and
put
then
a
you
++
can...
counter on it. Yep, okay, yep, that makes sense. Whenever the Belligerent attacks, create a treasure token. Well, there's another trigger. Until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library.
That's pretty good.
End of turn, you may look at the top of the card, and so you can only play them till the end of your turn as well.
Yeah, but every attack step, you get that trigger.
Yep, and it's 5/5, so seems pretty good, and works pretty well with Captain Storm, and is creating treasures every time, so keeps triggering anything else that we've got in blue-red that is triggering off of artifacts entering the battlefield or treasures specifically, and all the equipment. So interesting. It's a different archetype to what we typically see in blue-red. So could be.
I like it though. According to whatdoesthatmean.com, Cosmium is the hypothetical radioactive element of atomic number 137. There you go. According to mtgfandom.com/wiki, it's a resource of immense power. Long before Chimmel, the sun at the center of Ixalan's core, was caged in a Cosmium metal prison by the Coin Empire. After 320 years of darkness, she was freed from her prison and is now surrounded by a reef of Cosmium that darkens half of the land. So there you go.
So it's some crazy expensive resource, and so that's why Captain Storm is raiding the Cosmium.
Because she's a pirate.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yep.
All right, we've got one archetype left, Chewy.
Well, it's red-white. Do we ever need to talk about red-white draft archetypes? No. Okay, so they've got Capricoti Sunborn. Yep,
Caparocti?
Caparocti? Yeah, Caparocti Sunborn. Sure. 2 red-white for a 4/4. Legendary creature, human scout. Okay. Whenever this attacks, you may tap 2 untapped artifacts and/or creatures you control. If it does, discover 3. So discover's like the fixed cascade. So that's not bad. You might have some map tokens or treasures or anything lying around. So that is pretty cool.
This is what's that chick human soldier that flips humans off the top of your library? This is the
Winota
version of that at home.
Yeah, the fixed Winota. Yeah. And then the associated rare is we've got Anam Pakal 1000th Moon. Gosh, that's hard to say. It's a 1 red-white for a 1/2. It says whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, okay, specifically non-gnome. That's all the shout out to all my gnomes out there. I see you, even if this card doesn't. put a +1/+1 counter on this, then create X/1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, where X is a number of counters on this. So she brings all the gnomes. So there you go.
Right.
Seems,
so go wide,
Yeah.
make some gnomes, tap
Yeah.
some dudes down.
yeah. So yeah, you add
Interesting.
gnomes every time. So she, instead of being a human soldier, she should be a human nomad. No.
Okay, on to the previews.
Swing and a miss. I tell you what, I'm really pleased to see that they've just decided that with, vampires and dinosaurs and pirates and, all these other things that we already had, that they should bring in some more creature types because there weren't enough already. So we've now got fairies and gnomes. I don't know if you noticed, there's a elephant planeswalker.
Yes,
which has come across from Strixhaven.
We've got Sahili there as well. Like, it's just...
Well, yeah.
It's weird.
It just, but it's okay because we've got Cavern of Souls, so you can just cast all your things. It's fine. You just got to be able to blink your Cavern 11 times to cast non-counterable spells.
Yep. All right, well, that's the draft archetypes. Just a quick look at them. We weren't going to go too deep on them tonight, but we want to talk about a few preview cards. So we do have a few good reprints that we've seen in this set. So you did mention there, Cracker, Cavern of Souls, which we've seen for quite a while. We've got Charter Courses back. That was first printed in the previous Ixalan set.
Love it.
Resplendent Angel, which is
1 white for a 3/3 angel. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 5 life, create a 4/4 angel with vigilance. And then you've got the activated...
Can pump all your...
Yeah, 3 white, and it gets +2/+2 on lifelink.
Explorer staple, that thing.
This thing
heavily
is
played in Explorer Angels. Yeah.
It was really good in Standard first time round, and when I saw it, I was like, okay, legit good white card here.
Yep.
Oh,
Sorcerer's
high
Spyglass, which is you get to look at your opponent's hand, you can name a card, and then they can't cast it or activate abilities of it.
Sideboard card forever for everyone.
Yep. Really solid. And a treasure map, which is super grindy. Card advantage card. Make some treasures, sack those treasures for card draw. So some good reprints there. There's probably a bunch of other ones that we've missed, but they're just ones that I noticed as I was sort of scrolling through. So, Chewy, do you want to give us one of your previews that you're keen on?
Yeah, absolutely. So one that really jumps out at me is Aklazot's Deepest Betrayal. And this is part of the God cycle. There's one in each colour. It's the black one at 3 black for a 4/4 legendary creature Bat God. It has flying and lifelink. And it says, whenever this attacks, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't, you draw a card. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, create a 1/1 black creature token with flying. When this dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control. So the other side of it is Temple of the Dead, and it has tap, add black. It's a land, Temple of the Dead. And it also has 2 and a black, tap, transform this, activate it only if a player has 1 or fewer cards in hand and only as a sorcery. So it acts a lots of you, but it can really be a recurring threat that also creates an army. Pretty nuts, this card. It's a mythic as well, so it's very powerful.
Very solid. Yeah, definitely.
Also worth noting, the land isn't legendary.
Oh, yeah.
On the backside, yeah.
So when this dies, so if you cast a second copy of Axolotls, you choose which one of them dies, and you just go, oh, now I have the land. So you can just cast
you can, but like if you have one and it dies and you have another one that dies, like your land doesn't get blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can have one as the land side, one as a
exactly
creature side at all times, sort of thing.
Yeah, 5 and a 4/4 flying lifelink makes people discard cards, makes bats.
I think all of the gods have that same
that
sort
recursive
of thing.
threat. Yeah,
they die, they come back transformed as a land, and then they have some sort of activated ability with a clause, and you can bring them back. They all seem pretty solid. What do you got, Cracker?
Funny you should talk about gods that do things like that. Mine is Oja Patik, the Deepest Epoch. And it's 2 blue for a 4/3 with flying. Whenever you cast an instant spell from your hand, it gains rebound.
Wow.
Yeah. So exile it as it resolves. If you don't know what rebound is, it's an older mechanic, which we haven't seen for a while, actually. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you cast that spell for free, and then you exile it. But when it dies, it It returns to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control with 3 time counters on it. And then it's got an activated ability of tap blue, add a blue, remove a time counter from it. And then you can pay 2 and a blue to tap and then flip it over, but only if it has no more time counters. So use it as a lane 3 times to remove the time counters. And then, the 4th time you can pay 3 to transform it back.
Interesting that's got you can activate the black one like the next turn, whereas that one has got the time counters clause on it, which is interesting. So
yeah.
They must have thought it was extra powerful. Rebounding.
Well, the black one had the clause of you had to have an opponent with, or a player had to have one or fewer cards.
Yeah.
In hand.
I feel like that's...
Which, is possible. Have you played Standard and been Hellbent recently?
No.
Not really. Yeah, true. True.
No one's ever helping.
I don't think that's a thing that happens anymore. I don't know. Like, obviously, Is It Spellslinger is like my jam, but this seems, giving all your spells rebound. So don't cast it on 4. Wait until you can gain value. Counter spells don't work so good with it, but everything else does.
And Cracker, you've got my youngest daughter... Shorty, you've got my youngest daughter's invitational card to talk about here.
Are you referring to Belligerent Yearling?
Yeah. It's got a little bit of Lola about the art as well. Look at that unkept hair and, quite stocky. Nice. Yeah, look at it, it's her.
Definitely, yeah. I did what I always do when I'm going through previews and just went straight to the red cards, look for all the good red aggressive stuff, and I was very disappointed. There's no... What was the goblin pirate... Like one mana,
Fanatical Firebrand.
Fanatical Firebrand. I was expecting that.
I cast a lot of that card.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, played a little
but
bit.
But no, I got nothing.
This is a good card, though.
Yeah, it seems good. So 1 and a red for a 3/2 dinosaur with trample. So that's not too bad. And it's got whenever another dinosaur enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Belligerent Yearling's base power become equal to that creature's power until end of turn. So we're talking before in the limited stuff about potential dinosaur deck. There is a lot of red and green dinosaurs. So this is your early drop. That's a 3/2 beta. That's not too bad. And then later on, you've got this down. You drop a 6 power dinosaur, and this thing takes on its power. It doesn't get the toughness, just gets the power, but it's got trample built in. So not too bad.
It's got a force damage through at a rate of knots. This thing.
Yeah. Who knows? Might be good enough. We will see. But it's about as good as we get for good red aggressive cards these days. What else have you got, Chewy?
Hang on. A 2-mana 3/2 trample that gets bigger, and there's disappointment in your voice.
It dies to shock. I don't want to pay 2 mana for something that dies to shock.
Oh my goodness me! Power creep has crept into your brain.
Dies to everything.
Do you know what? I will cast Get Lost on that thing if I need to. So, Get Lost is 1 and white for an instant and says destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. Its controller makes 2 map tokens. So, and the map tokens are the artifact tokens that make one of your creatures explore. But I would much rather spend 2 mana and get rid of Sheoldred, and have my opponent have 2 map tokens than have Sheoldred on the other side of the board. So this is a super efficient white removal spell that also hits other permanent types. This is quite a good Magic card. I think it's probably will see play in some other formats outside of Standard as well. Potentially, maybe get played in Explorer. But hitting enchantments or planeswalkers for 1 and a white seems good.
Yeah, what's the other 1 and a white one where they make clues? It's played in Pioneer, I think.
Yeah.
Fateful Absence?
Fateful Absence, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Seems like a bit of an upgrade on that. The map tokens are not as good as clues.
Being, you get 2 of them.
Straight card draw. Yeah.
But you do need a creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So,
it's powerful.
Yep. It is.
All right, what do you got next, Cracker?
Echoing Deeps. This isn't land, it's a cave. It says, you may have Echoing Deeps enter the battlefield as a copy of any land card in a graveyard, except it's a cave in addition to its other types. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this card called Dark Depths.
Yeah.
This isn't a standard card, but like this will see play in older formats. I think it has potential. It has combo potential. So
I think this will be like a one of in land archetypes that you want to be able to call on this for redundancy, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if you don't have your loam going or something like that, it's got some upside. And it also says a graveyard. Doesn't have to be yours.
Ah, that is true. Yep.
So, if you're milling your opponent and they flip over something cool, then you can do that. So, yeah, seems very strong. Otherwise, you can just have it into it as a untapped colorless source if you want to do that.
Yeah, you could have it come in as a tapped fetch land or something. But probably not good enough for Lotus Field, unless you've got ways of putting your Lotus Fields in the graveyard, which you generally don't really want to do. Is
this good enough to have one in your deck if you're playing like Modern Primetime? Just as a way
to copy like a Sun Home or something if someone's blown it up?
Yeah.
As a redundant piece? Yeah, maybe. Don't know. Not an expert on that deck.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if it'll make the cut, but it'll get looked at, right? As an option. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, people will try it out and find it's not good enough, and then that'll be the end of it.
Yep. Shorty, your next card, Angelina Jolie's let herself go.
Well, this is the closest that we got to the Fnatic Firebrands. This is Goblin Tomb Raider, and
wow.
Yeah, it's certainly not an Angelina Jolie. Single red for a 1/2. I mean, you're talking about power creep before, Chewy. Now we just get one mana 1/2s with no drawbacks in red.
Dice to shock.
Yes, so there's a Goblin Pirate.
I wouldn't waste my shock.
No. As long as you control an artifact, it gets +1/+0 and has haste. So 1 mana 2/2 haste if you've got an artifact. Not that hard to do. Obviously we're going to see a lot of treasures and stuff kicking around, maps and things in this sort of set. There's a lot of the support for that in the red colours. As we were saying before, there's a lot of equipment. I mean, we've still got oh man, what's the Cyberpunk set called? Goodness me.
Kamigawa.
Right. Wow. Neon Dynasty, that's what I was trying to think of. We've still got that legal in Standard, which had a whole bunch of, rabbit batteries and all that sort of stuff, all the different equipment that we had in there. So I don't think it'd be that hard to have this thing coming down as a 1 mana 2/2 with haste. Is that any good? No. So we can just move along to the next card. What do you got, Cracker?
What if they had Ancient Den in the set? Gosh, come on.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to print that.
Oh, my goodness. These cards are banned for a reason. And Khan makes them real bad. Subterranean Schooner is 1 and a blue for an artifact vehicle. It is a 3/4. And it has a crew 1, which is the number you want to see for crewing your vehicles. Whenever Subterranean Schooner attacks, target creature that crewed at this turn explores. So, not as good as Looter Scooter. Obviously, it doesn't fly. You don't get the ability when you block with it. It's only an attack trigger. But it is a 3/4, and it is 2 mana. And it's almost draw a card. It's not quite as good as Loot. You get to draw lands and then mill things into the graveyard. So it's close. It's close.
It's pretty good. I don't know if it'll make it.
It's not going to get banned in Standard like the Looter Scooter did.
No.
Let's be very clear on that. The fact that it's blue and not just too generic is a huge difference. But
absolutely, it's not going to get played in absolutely every creature deck. But I wonder if, this is a decent card. There's a whole bunch of vehicles in the Kamigawa set, right? The blue-white archetype was very vehicle-based. So I wonder if, the vehicles in this set, maybe there's something there. Maybe we can, Mech Titans core things out and make the big Voltron thing or something. I don't know. But if they keep printing it, maybe it'll come in. It's a cool card. I don't know if it's going to make the cut, though. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I don't think it's good enough. But who knows? Not me. That's for sure. My next card is sticking with the red creature theme that
You're on brand.
Inti Seneschal, I think that's how you say that word, of the Sun. 1 red for a 2/2 human knight. Look at the art of this. It's a dude riding like a giant stegodon, basically, from Warhammer. Why is it a 2/2? Anyway, Whenever you attack, you may discard a card. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. It gains trample until end of turn. Whenever you discard one or more cards, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until your next end step. So one of the things with this, it's whenever you attack. So it doesn't have to be this dude that is attacking. You just attack with any creature, and then you get to do the discard, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, and it gets trample. So you might want to keep this thing back, and you just send in some smaller creatures. It gives you an outlet to discard your lands that you've drawn that you don't want once you've hit your 4th or 5th land in your mono red deck. And it's whatever you're discarding, you're replacing it with the card from the top of your library. And it is you may play that card until your next end step as well. So it's, it gives you in your second main phase something to do. If you do discard a land and you hit another land off the top of your library, well, you can still play that land off the top of your library or whatever else it is that you get. So yeah, not a bad creature. It doesn't have haste. I guess it can give itself trample and make itself bigger, but just that sort of, I guess effectively looting or rummaging, you're discarding first and then effectively drawing a card is kind of something that you need to be able to do in red. Once you draw too many lands, you're kind of stuffed. And this is a good way to get rid of all those garbage lands that you no longer want.
And it also really good way to trigger Descend as well.
Yeah, good way to do that. Yep, absolutely. Also, you can discard some Phoenixes to it, or some Fiery Tempers in its model formats. If you, I don't think it'll make the cut for that, but it's a thing you could do.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Obviously, the it's classic profile picture trap here, where he's like, look at me, I'm awesome, I must be massive, riding my giant stegodon thing, but in reality, he's not bringing them out to the fight. It's just the dude. So yeah. It's oversold himself a little bit.
Speaking of massive dudes, I can't remember if we talked about this card or not. The Ancient One. Blue-black for an 8/8.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we haven't talked about that one yet. Yeah, blue-black 8/8. I didn't put it on the show notes. Yeah, blue-black for an 8/8. That's it. Descend 8. The Ancient One can't attack or block unless there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. Activated ability of 2 blue-black, draw and then discard. When you discard a card this way, target player mills cards equal to its mana value. Yep.
So you target yourself until
this card's cool, man.
It's
until you get enough permanent cards, and then interesting. Yeah, anytime you get those weird cards where it's massively undercosted for its stats are always interesting, but I think they're pretty good at making them so they can't be broken these days.
I don't know, man. Stitcher Supply is a hell of a card.
Yeah.
That just ETBs and mills 3, then it dies, and then you've got, that's 7 cards in your graveyard. Okay, what's next?
Yeah, but they do have to be permanents.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. I think the last card we saw that was like this, that was genuinely good, is probably Death Shadow, which is very old now. A 13/13 for 1 mana with a huge drawback, and actually it's not a huge drawback. We can play around that.
I thought you meant Hogak.
Yeah.
Well, that had discounts in other ways.
Sure did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a drawback. You could only cast it from your graveyard. Yeah.
Yeah, with Delve and Convoke.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. I just realised one of the reprints that we didn't add on here, a Braid has been reprinted as well. So it feels like a Braid might be a perpetual standard card at this point. Yeah,
well, that was already in standard currently, but I think it wouldn't have been in standard if we stuck with the regular rotation. So, they would have put it in there to make sure that it is permanently in standard.
Yeah, and it's fine. I think it's a good card to have in standard, for sure.
I think it's good to destroy that last card you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so one last card to talk about, which is Chimil, the Inner Sun. So you mentioned Chimil earlier, Chewy, as something when you were going on your fluff tangent.
It's the sun.
Sure. This is 6 mana for a legendary artifact. Spells you control can't be countered. And then at the beginning of your end step, discover 5, which is, as we said, the fixed cascade. Exile cards from the top of your library till you exile a non-land card with mana value 5 or less, cast it without paying its mana cost. So, commander card, straight up. This is definitely going to be a commander card, but pretty good.
I like that the Immortal Sun from the last Ixalan sets, was a key piece of that that story arc, and now it's actually a character. So from a fluff perspective, but yeah, this is going to be it's going to go into a lot of commander decks.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Anytime you get powerful colorless artifacts, they tend to be worth a bit of money and slot into various commander decks. So
yeah, card's toxic.
Yep. All right. So lots of cool cards in this set. The sort of the general consensus I've been hearing about this set is that it's not crazy powerful. It is certainly more powerful than the last time we were at Ixalan, and people seem to be reasonably excited about it. So I haven't paid enough attention to the spoilers to really give a good opinion, but what do you guys think? Good set, bad set, excited?
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yep.
I mean, Ixalan was a lot of fun last time, even if it wasn't good. But yeah, I think it looks like it feels like it's on par with the power level of most of the things in Standard already. Most of the sets. Not all of them, but most. There's always outliers in terms of like stupid cards, but yeah, it seems good.
I don't know whether I am unexcited about this set because I'm not excited about, the plane and the cards I'm seeing so much. I'm not excited, but I'm not like chomping at the bit like I was for like Kamigawa. Or maybe it's just like out and out fatigue. There's so many cards are coming out so often and it's just like I can't keep up and I'm just kind of, only giving things a cursory glance because I know that, within a week of this set being out, we're going to start seeing previews for the next set. So yeah, it's slow down, Wizards. Let us have time to get excited, please. Let it break.
So funny you should say that. We've got the Outlaws of Thunder Ridge coming up soon, and
exactly. Like, oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Never-ending previews and never-ending set releases. Yep.
Yeah.
That's how Wizards does it. Yep.
That is true. Got to keep the hype train running. Speaking of hype train,
absolutely,
we're back on the train.
We are. Yeah, we magically got the email this time for the early access event. So we missed the last set. I think we might have been on the one before that. I can't remember. We got booted off the program for a while along with everyone else, and they went, no, only like big time streamers are going to be doing this. And then I don't think that worked. So we managed to sneak onto an invite, and then Wizards just dropped the ball as they always do, and we couldn't get back on there. But out of nowhere, a couple of weeks ago, we got the email. We are back onto the early access event. So it actually kicks off like 5 a.m. We're recording this Thursday night. It kicks off 5 a.m. Friday morning. I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. to do any streaming, and I have a very busy day of work tomorrow, so we'll not be doing any streaming during the day, but hoping to get on for at least a couple of hours on Friday evening. So I'm not sure if either of you guys are going to be able to give it a crack, but we'll see how we go. The option is there for all of us to do it. I have no idea what to play, so send us your decks. Give us your brews, post in the Discord, give us something that you want to play. We'll be up for playing absolutely anything, preferably wacky, weird stuff, highlighting the new cards. We don't want to be doing what I did a couple of years ago and just jamming some mono red because we do that all the time anyway. So yeah, give us some weird, funky brews and we'll get into that. Runs for 24 hours, so there'll be a whole bunch of different streamers. Yeah, from 5 a.m. Friday morning until 5 a.m. Saturday morning Melbourne time. So keep an eye out for that. You guys got any spicy off the top brews that you're thinking about running?
I'm having a look at what I can do with Aristocrats with the black-white legend.
Nice.
Yeah, but and had some conversations with Ties around a blue-white, maybe blue-white-green blink list. So nothing to the point that we actually have a list yet. But yeah, there's some thoughts spinning around in my head.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what we come up with, and yeah, it should be a bit of fun because they always are. It's always nice to just jump on and play with all the cards, even if you just jump on and you just crack packs because you don't get to do that in your normal life. So.
But if you've got a deck that you think is good, but you don't want to spend the wild cards to test it, then that's the perfect list to throw up to us. We've got that account that has all the things. And then we can just we can build it and test it for you.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so yeah, keep an eye out for that tomorrow afternoon/evening. And Chewy seems to keep all sorts of weird hours, so maybe you'll get a weird Chewy stream at 1 a.m. in the morning. Or
yeah, I might jump on when you're done. We'll see how we go.
Yep.
Yeah, single dadding this weekend, so I can't really commit to anything, but I'll have a crack.
Yep. I can just stream with a kid on each knee, and yeah.
Let them
You'd be
click
right.
the mouse. Yeah, let's do it.
They can build
Probably
the
play
deck.
better than me.
Yeah, just point at pictures of cards and go, yeah, put that in your deck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll get Scout to build me a deck. Done. She'll build. I'll build Scout Typal. Let's do it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Done.
Very good. All right, so usual wrap-up on the way out the door. If you want to chat with us and send us deck lists or whatever, come and join us in the Discord. We do have an awesome community there. The link for that is in the show notes, as always, as well as a link for our merch store where you can pick up Magic Beans gear, whatever you want. There's a whole bunch of things on there. Go and check out Josh and Pat's MTG Bazaar. They are the sponsors of the different things that we do, so we appreciate if you can go and join the Facebook group and bid on some stuff and let them know the Beans sent you when you win something. Just go to jpmtgbazaar.com.au and that will take you straight to the group. If you want to find us anywhere on the internet, just go to magicbeanscast.com. You'll find all the links for YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter/X all on there, so go and check it out. If you'd like to find me on that platform, I am at Peace Inc. Chewy, you are?
At Chewy MTG.
And Cracker?
At Joel Hill _.
Very good. So that is it for this week. Thank you, as always, for listening. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.